to me, I'm a little bit more interested. I know like Saturday NFL is back. Now that the college season is, not with us,
We're in
but
bowl season
I,
now, so you know.
yes, but I am more interested in the Sunday game. So there's two in particular that stand out to me. I think in part it's because I'm an Eagles fan, so now I'm very in tune, paying attention to what the Dallas Cowboys are doing, but also just because I think Bills Cowboys is just one of the better matchups that day, and also both teams have a lot, at stake. Different things, right? Like, but they both have a lot at stake. So what are your thoughts on this game and who's winning?
Yeah, this is interesting. I mean, listen, the Cowboys, like you said, they're pressing because while they do hold the tiebreaker currently in the NFC East, they have to try to maintain that. And I don't think that they have a pretty tough schedule the last four
I
games of
don't
the
think they
season.
do. Oh, I mean, they're ahead, but I don't think they have the tiebreaker. Like if both teams win out, the Eagles have it.
Correct.
So
I think
they
if both
lost that
teams
game,
win out, the Eagles have it, right?
right. Right now they're ahead.
But ultimately, the Cowboys' schedule is pretty tough
Yes.
moving forward. And
Yes.
this is the first stop. Buffalo, at Buffalo. Buffalo is an extremely hard place to play. And Dallas is the stadium that plays inside. Buffalo at this time of year, it could get nasty. It could be a blizzard going on this weekend. It could be negative 10 degrees this weekend, which isn't the advantage of the Bills. The Bills are in a situation where they are currently out of the AFC playoff picture, and their back is literally against the wall. They had to win the game against the Chiefs. I said last weekend, I definitely picked them against Kansas City because to me, they're the more desperate team. So now you're doing this again against the Cowboys. I understand that this is a non-conference opponent, but at the end of the day, the wins and losses still matter for the Bills. They have to find a way to win down the stretch. So yesterday, I kept going back and forth about this, and I was like, I think the Cowboys might pull this out, but I think I'm going with the Bills. I feel like that the elements of being in Buffalo, which is completely different from being cozy and inside in Dallas, could potentially be in favor for the Bills. I'm going to go with the Bills in a very small margin. I'd say about 3 points, but I think they squeak out a win against the Cowboys.
Okay. Well, you know which team I'm rooting for.
I'm saying this with all the injuries that the Bills have. They have injuries in the secondary and on defense. Trey White is out. They lost another guy. Von Miller hasn't really played well. So they have more things against them than the Cowboys do. I just think that sometimes when you feel the pressure and you have to respond and you have to stand up in a moment, it's all about that and you overcome those types of situations. So I do think that even with everything that the Bills have going against them right now, I think that they'll find a way to squeak out a close win.
Well, I am rooting for the Bills because
we know you are.
But also, it's a good thing because, like, everyone knows I'm not a pro Josh Allen girl. So I'm putting my faith in Josh Allen for one game. Don't be Josh Allen, who I've been criticizing all year. Be the Josh Allen the other people say you are. Okay, so. And then, of course, Sunday night, a team that you know very well, the Ravens facing off against the Jags. And the Ravens right now, they have the top spot in the AFC. And there's this debate around whether they're the best team in the AFC or not, or whether they're best team because people feel like the Ravens are a little confusing. Regardless of that, they too, I'm sure, want to hold onto their spot. The Dolphins gifted them something with that terrible loss earlier this week. So they are now in control of their destiny. They are now in the number one spot. So they really, 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 I'm sure, want to win this game. But the Jags also have the Colts and they have the Texans right on their heels. So both teams with a lot to play for. What do you think about this game, Reeta?
Yeah, this is interesting because, like you already mentioned, the Jaguars are only one game ahead of the Colts and the Texans. And so really, you would think that playing Trevor Lawrence would not be something that they'd want to do because we know that he has a high ankle sprain. Well, I think that they're feeling the pressure because they're only one game ahead of the Colts and the Texans. And so now you're forcing a guy to play with an injury that can really be nagging and can really be struggling as the game goes on. And we saw, last week against the Browns that, the stats will tell you he did this, but if you watch the game, he just didn't look comfortable.
Yes.
He didn't really look as good.
Yeah.
So there's that part. And then they don't have Christian Kirk, their number one wide receiver there as well. So, this is a situation where the Jags are also pressing, but I don't feel like that this works in their favor due to the injury at the quarterback situation. There's another part of this too. The Ravens were up against the Jaguars last year in the fourth quarter, and that was one of the games that they squandered away and lost to the Jaguars. So I definitely think that they have this game circled on their calendar because of how they ended last year. They have a much better wide receiving core this year, the Ravens do. I definitely think that this is a game that the Ravens could everybody's like, oh, it could potentially be close. I'll be honest with you, Nat. Every time we sit here and say, oh, it's going to be close. We said this about the Lions.
I know.
We said this about the Seahawks. They demolished them. So
they have another incentive though here too. They can clinch their playoff for this week. So another incentive.
They can. I mean, I believe they need a little bit of help, but it's not a whole lot of help. I'm picking the Ravens, and I don't think that they win small. I think they win by 2 scores. The Jaguars are going to be pushing. And again, Trevor Lawrence not being 100%, playing with a high ankle sprain. Look, everybody can't be Pat Mahomes. Everybody can't be Patrick Mahomes out there, playing with high ankle sprains and being just fine.
Yeah.
I just really feel like that this is potentially more dangerous for them than it is helping their situation. I
was shocked he played last week. I understood why they did it, but I'm like, man, listen, I would have been monitoring the games because from the moment I see, they were not going to win that game, I don't know. I would have pulled him because it ended up being like you played him for no reason. All the teams lost. So,
Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.